and southern coasts. Temperatures, well, a bit on the low side, certainly lower than they have been, and pretty windy too in the north, at least to begin with. And then tomorrow, well, still that rain in the north of Scotland to begin with. Elsewhere, just a scattering of showers, I think, at the beginning of the day, with some sunshine around as well. Now, during the course of the day, cloud will bubble up just about everywhere, and there will be showers around. Not all that many showers coming through to the more central and eastern areas of England. In fact, I think over England and Wales, most of them will tend to probably hug those western and southern coasts. But over Northern Ireland and Scotland, more in the way of showers, and again, one or two of them could be quite heavy. Still fairly breezy in those northern areas, and that's going to make it feel rather on the cold side too. 11 degrees Celsius, 52 Fahrenheit. Temperatures in the south, rather like today's. That's all for now. A very good night to you.
In the new Radio Times, the £1.5 million bust. For the first time, television goes behind the scenes of Her Majesty's Customs and Excise in BBC2's The Duty Men.
He's coming out of the sky shop. He's carrying a duty-free bag. He's carrying his spectacles round his neck.
We feel we've identified the first courier. He has been recruited, lives in Spain, and a couple of days ago, he flew in from Alicante. And then yesterday, he made his way to the airport for the start of what is undoubtedly going to be his smuggling run.
Radio Times takes its own sneak look at the making of this unique series in an interview with producer Paul Heyman. Also travelling, though without the benefit of HM Customs, are 5 young actors and actresses who are about to become the citizens of Radio 4's new twice-weekly drama series. They play a group of ex-students sharing a house in South London. Radio Times removes the walls for a behind-the-scenes look at their lives. Radio Times, the inside story on all BBC radio and television.
Sportsnight at 10:50 features international snooker from the Hexagon Reading, world gymnastics from Rotterdam, and an interview with 5-time Wimbledon champion Bjorn Borg. Now, in a change to the published programme, BBC1 pays tribute to the celebrated cellist Jacqueline Du Pré, who died earlier this week. The programme is introduced by Humphrey Burton.
The cellist Jacqueline Du Pré died this week at the tragically early age of 42. In her 20s, with her musical career already at a peak, she was acknowledged worldwide as one of the finest artists ever to have emerged from Great Britain. Tonight, in tribute, the BBC is showing again the documentary called Jacqueline, which includes what is arguably her finest interpretation, the Elgar Cello Concerto. But first, we'll hear brief appreciations from some of the world figures in music who gathered today in London for her funeral.
Jackie had the most unique sound. It was something that will never be lost. People remember it. People remembered it at the time. Jackie was a legend as she was playing. I think that's the statue she still has in the musical world. It's not a cellist. It's not just a person. It was a total being. She was. That's what people remember. They don't talk about her as the artist. They don't talk about her as the woman. It's all one. It's all one. And she developed. She developed on stage in a way that was always true. It was never. There was never a falsification of anything she did.
With Jackie, there was never anything like a safety sort of a thing. She went all the way, and it showed in the playing, and that's why she was not only a fabulous recording artist, but she was a fabulous performing artist. That when you saw her, and when you saw how the link between her feeling and her soul was came directly into the cello and into her playing, and there was no, as they say, middleman. There was nothing. There was no interference at all. It was one stream directly from here to there, and you could feel it, and you could see it in her eyes. You could hear it in her music, in her playing, and that's the uniqueness of that. It's so unique and it's so unusual that that's why people are reacting the way that they're reacting, even though she hasn't played for so many years. But it was so dominant and so strong.
I think those who were fortunate enough to have heard her play in the flesh realized that there were there was no hang-ups of any kind. I mean, it was a complete freedom. There was actually no affectation. There was no nervousness. It was a human being who was able to actually, in front of thousands of people, with all the lights fully on, be totally concentrated and focused on her work. Even in that terrible illness, that focusing and that gift to be not influenced by anything else came across so strong that you never thought of her in any other way. There was such a parallel, somehow, that almost you felt that in the music, there was pain in the music, there was pain in the illness, there was humor in the music, there was almost humor in the illness. I almost felt that this person is accepting everything because she's free.
The programme about Jacqueline Du Pré, which we're going to see now, was directed and narrated by her friend, the filmmaker